Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with the SCS mod. So, let's continue where we left off. But first, let's heal up Senashira so that nothing stupid happens. I think I'm going to upload this episode the same day and the last one. I think I'm going to try to do like 2 episodes per day more often. And especially since, you know, we didn't accomplish all that much in that last episode, and I wanted to have some action. And this map is going to provide us with a lot of action, because in the north and in the south there are Basilisk groups to clear out. Especially the northern one is like the main one with their master, I guess. And in the center of the map there's also a group of adventurers that we're going to fight, which with SCS they can be pretty dangerous. But first let's quick save and talk to Korax.
Me no want fight. Me Korax. Me friend.
So he's a talking ghoul, and I just wanted to make that quick save to show you some of the the conversation options. Like that is sometimes, like, all of them are pretty funny here. Sorry chum, but you're a ghoul and we're adventurers, so we're going to have to kill you. And don't look so surprised. It's all by the book. Or you're not our friend, but since you're a talking ghoul, and we haven't seen too many talking ghouls, we'll let you live. Now get out of here. And he's gonna be sad. No one likes me. Me so sad. Anyway, let's quick load and accept his offer.
It is done.
Me no want fight. Me Korax.
You can be our friend, but you better not do anything that'll make us mad. Me will be good boy. Me promise. Me will help you with anything you need. So of course Jaheira objects, but Jaheira is not someone who makes the decisions in this group. Oh, of course there's also can be random monster groups like this Tasloi or gnolls especially that can spawn on this map. Anyway, Korax is pretty useful, and he's basically the reason that you can solo this map. If you come here even at level 1 solo, you can take Korax with you and clear out a lot of the Basilisks, because he as a ghoul is immune to their petrification gaze. And he also, you know, as a ghoul, he can paralyze on hit. I can come a little closer. He's treated as a summoned creature, so that's why he doesn't give us any vision.
It is done.
Alright. Now let's buff up Senashira with shield and with protection from petrification, and Senashira and Korax are gonna be in the front.
Yes.
And I'm gonna try to clear out some of these Basilisks. Alright, so here's the first one. There are 2 types of them. There are lesser Basilisks, like this one, and there are also greater Basilisks. The lesser ones are worth 1400 experience, while the greater ones are worth 4000 experience. We can add a little bit of damage, especially when they're paralyzed like that. But even if not, we can add some damage from like max range, but you have to be careful about that in SCS, because Basilisks are much smarter in SCS, and they are not going to, you know, if there's someone in their vision, someone in their range that, you know, is not immune to their gaze attacks, you know, they're going to switch to those people. Basically, they're not going to keep doing the gaze attack or the petrification gaze ability on someone who's clearly immune, like over and over again, unless that's the only person they can attempt that on. So that's why, you know, they kept trying this out on Senashira and on Korax, because there was no one else like close enough. By the way, as I mentioned in my introductory episode, you can also do kind of like an exploit, I guess, or like a clever use of game mechanics, I guess. I think those are the 4, and there's not much more, not many more in this area. Actually, there's like no other Basilisks. I think there are just 4 down south, and then there's like 7 or something like that up north. Yeah, so some random gnolls spawned. Just going to finish them off, and this adventurer party is close by. They're like right in the center of the map. Smack dab in the center of the map. Anyway, I was talking about that exploit where you can have the lesser Basilisk, for example. You can charm a lesser Basilisk with that Cloak of Algernon, for example, And then you can petrify with its gaze a greater basilisk, because they are not immune to their own petrification gazes. And that will give you, you know, the kill, basically. That will give you the 4,000 experience. But then, with the scroll of stone to flesh, you can unpetrify that greater basilisk, and then use your charmed lesser basilisk to petrify him again, and just keep doing that over and over again, for as many scrolls of stone to flesh you have, I guess. And, you know, you can keep getting 4,000 experience over and over just like that, which is, of course, something that I'm not going to do. But yeah, it is something that is possible. Right now, let's... Oh, they're already here. I don't want to talk with you yet. That was close. Because the lady there initiates the conversation. Let's just buff up a little bit. I'm not sure if... They don't have a cleric, I think. But they have a mage. And I'm not sure if she might have horror, so let's use remove fear. And you know what, let's maybe pre-buff ourselves with chant, because I don't want her casting that in combat. And that's basically it, I think. Let's have Imoen a little bit more in the front, because you know what we're going to use there? We're going to soften them up with a little bit of Armageddon tactics. So we're going to use our Necklace of Missiles and our Wand of Fire. We're going to soften them up a little bit. So here's Kyrian, and she's going to make fun of us. You look to be the same, except a little worse for wear. Oh, still learning the ropes of the business, eh? Watch your mouth, lest I smash it. I love the word lest. Let's be real. Look at yourselves. The bunch of you have about as much style as a pack of gibberlings. I'll show you sad, you arrogant little girl. Draw steel, bitch. And of course some of our characters with the NPC project are going to scold us for not being more mature. But whatever, I want to kill them, dude. I don't care that you consider me immature. Yes. We need to do some Armageddon tactics.
Certainly. You've a task? What is your command? What do you want? Nature's servant awaits.
This archer here, Baron, I think he's the archer, if I can see right. He is pretty dangerous. He also fires arrows +1.
Yes.
But with Senashira having the belt, the cloak, and the boots, she has a fantastic armor class versus ranged attacks. That's basically what I was aiming for there, equipping her like that. Boom, boom. Okay, some of them even died. Baron and Linden died. Now Peter and Kyrian are still active. I guess she is... Can I see her pre-buffs? Mirror Image and Ghost Armor. Now let's focus our attacks on her to reduce the amount of her mirror images.
You're a queer fellow.
Karax can go forth as well. Alright. Glitter Dust on Senashira. Yeah, and Peter is the cleric, so they do have a cleric. Well, that's really unfortunate, because both Senashira and Kivin got blinded. And especially for Kivin that's bad, because he can't use his range attacks while blinded. Normally, you know, blindness is a debuff to your Thaco and your armor class, but also when you have a ranged attacker such as Kivin, they, you know, they can't see far, so they can't use their ranged weapons. So Kivin is going to have to switch to his melee weapon, I guess. And also, as you can see, we don't have the vision over here. Let's send Jaheira forward, because I want to see what Peter is doing, and I think he's casting Hold Person. Which is really unfortunate, but he is near death. We should really finish him off with some ranged attacks. I want Kirinai and Imoen focus on him. Yeah, hold person on Senashira. Let's minimize the effects of that by repositioning. And she is held, which is very unfortunate. But let's finish Peter off now. And we have Korax try to... We'll have Korax try to paralyze Kyrian. Alright, now she's the only one left. So let's mess her up. Alright, paralyze from Korax hit, and she was low on health anyway at that point. So this went pretty well if I do say so myself. Jesus. My career as a commentator is not does not look promising. Alright, we're of course going to have to wait some of these effects out, like these sleeps and this hold person. But yeah, at least maybe let's loot them in the meantime. This is going to be a really good belt. Can actually transfer some scrolls to Senashira like that, even though she is held. Yeah, 40 arrows plus 1, that's really nice. Oh, and this is great from Peter. This is another Morningstar plus 1, but look at these potions. This is going to add to our Armageddon Tactics arsenal, because this is another potion of explosions. And this is an oil of fiery burning. That's like a classic D&D thing, which is basically the same thing. It just has a different type of save and it deals slightly less damage. But generally it's the same type of kind of exploding potions that we want to have at our disposal. Alright, another sword plus 1, another potion of absorption, and potion of invisibility. That's very nice. That's going to be very useful. Jaheira is still encumbered.
Yes?
Hopefully Branwen can carry all that.
Yes.
And our blindness ended already. Let's just progress without the 2 sleepy heads and clear out some more basilisks. Let's just be careful about that.
What do you want? It is done.
Okay. Now I don't want to progress too far north, because, like I mentioned before, there is a master of these basilisks, I guess, or someone who considers himself as such. And I don't want, you know, the better calls for help from SCS to, like, you know, activate him. I don't want to initiate that encounter without having all of my party members available.
I am here.
Oh wow, they even dropped... That's a random drop. And what are the chances, what are the odds for you to actually drop a protection from petrification scroll in this area where you actually need it?
Yes, I am.
You know, let's just go back, because random monsters can spawn on the way. And Branwen and Imoen are not exactly the strongest of fighters. Come on now. Alright, Branwen is up. So Imoen's sleep should be ending, yeah, very soon. Alright.
Yes? Indeed. Certainly.
Protection from petrification on Senashira has ran out.
You're a
So
queer
let's
fellow.
renew that.
I'm gone.
I am indeed. It is done.
And proceed
You've
cautiously.
Yes? It is done. As you direct. Your concerns? Certainly. Yes, certainly. As good as done.
Alright, here's Mutamin.
afraid. I'm gonna have to kill you.
By the way, this really gives me a little bit of an opportunity to talk about one of the million things that I didn't like about Neverwinter Nights, because they had like this weird idea of reusing some names from like Baldur's Gate games, but there's like no reference there. There's no clever like reference, nothing that will remind you of the original character. Like if you've played Neverwinter Nights, you know that there was that Green Griffin's Tavern with that owner of that tavern having that like adventurers competition with that dungeon, and his name was Mutamin. Like, why Mutamin? Why not something else? Like, it's not a reference to this guy, this mad gnome like illusionist. I think he's supposed to be a gnome, maybe a dwarf. Well, dwarves can't be mages in this edition. I think he's a gnome. But yeah, he is obviously yet another mad wizard. How how uncommon. So obviously he's you know, making a garden out of these stone sculptures that he makes out of living people by turning them into stone. So yeah, we can reference Prism here. You murdering psychopath. Now the cool thing about this is that of course with SCS you can never be sure about what spells are going to be at their disposal when you do a fresh install of SCS, but generally this guy, what a cool idea that they've had for this encounter is that, you know, obviously the main danger are the basilisks that can petrify you unless you are protected. So they basically have this guy, I think, pretty much always have a lot of dispel magic and remove magic. So he basically focuses on like dispelling your protections so that the basilisks can petrify you and like finish you off. That's really, yeah, I think he's going to be casting something like that. Yeah, remove magic on Senashira, and that dispelled her. Well, that didn't actually dispel her protection from petrification. That's very good. That's very good. Because you can see the basilisks approaching already. Now we have to be like really careful here. I am going to use this on Kiranai so she can like go forth without being too much in danger. Oh, and we have that scroll. We have to pass this over. Oh, and she has a full inventory. You know, I really need to pass this scroll over to someone else. And we're going to be able to use this scroll maybe on Kivin.
I know nothing more, so leave me to go.
Alright, and Kira and I can go forth.
Your concern?
Now I wanted her to have thrown daggers as well. That's a charm person on Senashira, that's not good.
You've a task as good as done.
Korags, go forth. And it worked. Damn it.
What? Fine.
There is a time for talk. This is not such a time.
Well, this is not a great situation.
By your command.
Especially since, like, this might not occur to you just yet. But we have to remember that she has the potions, Senashira has the potions of Mirrored Eyes, which were basically something that I wanted to keep, you know, as a tool for when someone gets dispelled and has their protection from petrification dispelled, well, I can just quickly, you know, chug a potion to... I can quickly chug a potion to make them protected against these petrification attacks again. But now, since she is the keeper of potions, and since she is charmed now, I can't access her inventory. Well, we basically have no potions left, essentially. We don't have that tool at our disposal. So, sleep on Korax is not going to be too effective. Korax, come on, attack, dude. We need you, bro. Right, now here, I wanted to add some damage onto that basilisk. Let's just use one of those. And Kiranai, come on. He's also hasted, so he's very fast. Like, you're not going to catch up to him with, like, Korax, for example, to paralyze him unless, you know, he's, like, surrounded or something.
What is it?
This greater basilisk is badly injured. Alright, glitter dust on Kiranai. And it worked, of course, unfortunately. Alright, you know what? I'm going to try to poison you with that dagger. She still has the protection from petrification.
Yep.
Now since we don't have the access to the potions, now I'm more hesitant to use this last scroll of protection from petrification, but let's use that on Kivin so we have a ranged attacker that's protected and we don't have to worry about him.
What fine.
Right, Kivin is protected, let's go forth with Kivin then. He's going to be the one providing us with vision, because Kiranai is obviously blinded. He casts blindness on Kiranai. He shouldn't be doing that. She's already blinded, bro.
Yes? Your life should be mine.
Korax, good dog. Yes, good dog.
This very tempus races.
Oh, look at this guy just zipping around, hasted. Let's try and use command on him.
I've done had enough of this.
Let's try to be spread out. Seems like there's no more basilisks in the area. That was pretty fortunate that there were only 2. He can summon with the better calls for help and whatnot. He can summon some more than that.
Yep.
I forgot what his pre-buffs were. I don't think I've checked his pre-buffs. Mirror image and ghost armor. It doesn't seem like he has shield, so let's just have this wand do some work when it comes to reducing the amount of his mirror images. Alright, that worked. Nice, nice. See, this basic wand, it seems like it's useless. It can still be pretty decent. Alright, she poisoned him with the dagger of venom. Alright, now we're out of the danger zone. Oh wow, there's another basilisk there though. Fortunately we have Kivin and Kiranai over there. Korax obviously is useless chasing after Mutamin.
Do you want to tell me a story about trollops?
Keep using that wand, dude. Yeah, since Mutamin is... Why are you not attacking him, dude? Please. Do something.
Yes?
I think he wanted to renew his mirror images, because that was an illusion orb, but didn't manage to. Alright, sweet! Oh, and Sinashira is back online. Alright, this went well. Now let's just keep our unpetrified and unprotected guys away from this situation so that nothing stupid happens at the very end of it.
It is done.
Alright, man. Sweet.
Indeed.
And there's still some more basilisks to clear out before I go and like loot Mutamin and do the little quest with Tama here. Let's just quickly clear out the whole zone, whole area, because I think there should be like 1 or 2 more basilisks, like more on the eastern side here. As you can see, this is a pretty cool area, pretty spooky area with all of these like petrified people and animals. You can really kind of get immersed here. Like get the feel of this like really mad wizard who's, you know, wants to have a garden of stone statues by just petrifying unsuspected travelers with his like pack of basilisks.
It is done.
That's pretty freaky, dude. You're freaking me out, Mutamin. Right, I think that's it when it comes to the basilisks.
Yes.
So we got quite a bit of experience. Imon was what do I want to say? Was able to level up again. Jesus, I think it's time to stop recording.
Yes.
with me just stumbling over my words. Like, Korax is still friendly to us, but he is going to go hostile after a while. So let's just have Chihira close to him if he decides to attack someone. Alright, let's just finish looting. Here's the corpse of Mutamin. He has some decent spells if you visit here early. Well, even if not, I don't think we had a scroll of horror. Do you have horror? Nope. Right. So let's just go closer to this person. There are two more things to do in this area. There's Tama and there's Shartil, which we're going to meet in a second. And Korax, unfortunately, you know, I think it's about time for him to go hostile. He's just not going to be able to like resist his ghoul like hunger for flesh, I guess. Anyway, now let's finish up this thing. Now we need a scroll of stone to flesh, which we've prepared for this occasion much earlier in the game. Now we can use this to unpetrify this lady. Oh, and Korax just attacked. Alright, so that happened. As we predicted. You are still blinded. Okay. So we won't be able to attack with your ranged attacks, but be prepared for that. Anyway, let's talk with... Yeah, so NPC Project again. Korax, you know, went hostile eventually, as Jaheira expected. Anyway, let's talk with Tama. She's obviously very confused about what happened. So rest yourself. You've likely been petrified for some time now. I remember fighting some gnolls and one turned to stone right before my eyes. I turned around and there was this lizard thing. And then you. I was turned to stone? For how long? Well, we do not know, but all that is important is that you are free now. So she's overjoyed, and since we didn't ask for any reward, we're going to get a +1 reputation. If you ask for a reward, or like demand one, I think you get like a minus to reputation, and she tells you that you can raid her house, like south of Baragost, I think, and it's that like abandoned, pretty much destroyed house. Yeah, and this is really cool when you have Branwen. Sinashira has made it her habit to turn stone to flesh, my good woman, for I was rescued by her from the same unnatural state. So a really cool addition, really cool little conversation from the NPC project. I like that. Alright, now the last thing to do is to talk with Shartil. She's a recruitable companion, a fighter, a pretty decent one actually. And she's very versatile, I guess, with her stats and everything. You can make her an archer pretty easily, or you can have her as a frontliner. She's a chaotic evil, kind of like a man-hating woman. She's like a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, dude. Anyway, if you don't have a man in your party, you will not actually be able to recruit her, because this whole recruitment thing is that she loses a duel, and then as payment she offers that she can join you.
Hold, travelers! I challenge your best warrior to a duel.
Yeah, I don't fight women, so only men should step forward. And of course, you can. The only reasonable, really, thing to say is we don't have the time to waste on such stupidity. But if you want to recruit her, then yeah, sure. What are the rules? Yeah, in the unlikely event that one of you bests me, I'll pledge my sword to your cause. Alright, sounds good. So, a male fighter has to step up. Oh, and they actually fight like automatically for this duel to happen. Because if you use like the attack icon on her, I think she goes hostile like an enemy. And this duel has to like happen naturally between themselves only.
Men are pathetic.
Yeah, I can't believe this. I'm beaten by a man, no less. Actually, we don't need her assistance. Anyway, let's recruit her and immediately remove her so that she goes to...
If it bleeds,
I'm not sure if she goes to the friendly army. No, to Nashgill's Belching Dragon. Alright, and now we are finished with this area, and perfectly on time, no less. So, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode when we're going to storm the coast, I guess. So, see you then.